I want to tell you a story that should serve as an example of why we don't kink shame. Now, trigger warning, this story does involve some very taboo kinks, one that sounds a lot like the word insect, okay? So I was working the chat lines a long time ago, and this guy calls me and he asked, had I ever hooked up with one of my friend's mothers? And I had been with older women that had kids, so I was like, yeah, sure, I can play along. I can figure this one out. Well, he wanted me to do a whole scene where I was with his mom, and he wanted to be involved with certain parts of it. And we did the whole scene, and the whole time he was just checking in with me and be like, is this okay? Is this weird? Is it like, you don't think that this is, awful? You don't think I'm awful? And like, he really was concerned about how I felt about the situation. And I did my job. You just kind of go along with it, and kept him on the phone as long as I could because that's how you get paid. And afterwards, he wanted to talk about it more. And he opened up a lot, and he said that everything we had just done actually happened to him. He had walked in on his mother when he was a teenager, and his best friend was with his mom, and his best friend just started laughing at him and pointing and saying, "Ha ha, I'm in your mom." Um, and it was really, really sad. It was really horrifying. And then he told me, like, his mom used to engage with other men right in front of him all the time as a kid. And I could see then that this individual was trying to make sense of the fact that his hormones and what turned him on had gotten confused with his relationship with his parent. And there was a lot of shame around it, and he didn't know how to process it, and he didn't know how to make sense of it. And so the way he was doing it was through me. He wanted to know that I was okay with it so that he could be okay with it and that there was nothing wrong with him. It was really, really sad, and I really felt for him. He was such a sweet guy, but he was sabotaged. Like, he had no shot of ever having a normally functioning childhood and growing up to be a well-adjusted adult. He never had a shot at a healthy life. So the reason why I'm telling this story is that this is a person who was dealing with it the best they could with the tools that they had, and went to a consenting adult, me, to express this side of themselves. He wasn't hurting anybody. And hopefully, he does get to therapy and do that whole part. But, he was meeting himself where he was at the time. And furthermore, when we get into the more taboo stuff, age play, race play, when I was doing that job, a lot of gay men would want me to do homophobic degradation. And the thing is, you don't know what people are dealing with. You don't know what they've been through. And to sit in judgment and shame them for something they already have a lot of shame about is, it's just not loving. And I know that sounds weird given that we could be talking about something like race play, but I really think the loving, caring thing is giving people the benefit of the doubt and allowing them the dignity of their own experience, okay? They're having their own experience, and you need to let them have it. And so that's why we do not kink shame, no matter what.